Morning. Um, so I'm working on the largest piece for Rye Harbour Nature Reserve at the moment. We've just come back from our residency, which was a great success. It's fantastic meeting everybody there. They've got such a amazing community down there. If you get the chance, just go because it's really really good. However, I wanted to do a little bit. God, stumbling over the words already, and we haven't even started. I want to do something a bit different this morning. In terms of there's a few bits and bobs that I've heard on the radio and stuff like that has sort of made me want to comment a little bit. Bit unusual, I know, don't normally do this. But it's mainly around the cost of wildlife protection in this country in particular. So you may have heard these rumours as well, you might not have done, but I say rumours, these are pretty much facts, but I've written them down to make sure that I get it right. So Hinkley Point C, there's been talk of the fact that they've spent £700 million, he says checking, £700 million on a fish deterrent system, which obviously deters a lot of fish, because basically fish, the water cooling system uses river water and kills loads of fish. So they've developed this deterrent system, and it's specifically focused on protected fish, which it also protects lots of other fish, of course. But the protected fish, the cost per fish that is predicted to be saved is about £250,000 per protected fish. I don't think you'll get many people that wouldn't say that's complete madness. Okay, so and then there's also another example around HS2 that they created a bat tunnel to again try and protect bats. This cost £330,000 per bat. See, now when I first heard that, I assumed that would be £330,000 in total, but no, it's per bat that is predicted to be protected. Now I'm guessing that this is over a year, so as time goes on, that cost will come down, but still complete lunacy, especially when you bear in mind that a bat charity built a specific habitat for about 1,000 bats. And the cost came in about £100 per bat. So £100 per bat, £330,000 per bat. Now this is completely nuts. I don't think anybody would think that that's a sensible way of doing business or running their government or doing a big infrastructure project. But I was listening to this program with John Fingleton, and I hope he doesn't mind me referencing him, who is the ex-CEO at the Office of Fair Trading, and he's now, I believe, he specialises in planning and trying to get rid of red tape in the government. Now, when you look at those figures, you just think wildlife protection in this country is just not worth it. It's just a stupid, ridiculous way of doing things, spending such a huge amount of money. I mean, £330,000 per bat. What could any of us do with £330,000? It would be amazing. But I think it's not the wildlife protection that's the problem, it's the way we're doing it. So to quote John Fingleton, he said, and I'm going to read this, we're spending all the money on consultants, lawyers and process rather than actually on nature conservation. So the way this is set up is that there's multiple bodies that are involved in this, and it's the bureaucracy that's the issue, not the wildlife protection. It's a bit like wind turbines that people say that they kill loads of birds. They do kill some birds, nowhere near, it's completely insignificant really, unless you build them on a migration path. So if there's a route that birds migrate every year and they go straight through this point, and then you build a whole load of wind turbines, you're going to kill a lot more birds. And then what you get is these things are built without any consultation. I've just watched that back. I watched the first bit that you've just seen back, and a few thoughts that's just sprung to mind. You've got to be so careful. So I said in there that there is no consultation with wildlife charities or bodies around the placement of wind turbines. That might not be true. I don't know whether that's true or not. I should have checked it out. I have to admit, I've got so much work on that right now. I haven't got time to do that. But you've got to be so careful. There's a few things in there that probably aren't right that I've said. So leads you on to sort of another thing is always check the facts. I've got these facts written down because I wanted to make sure I got those right. I've researched those really very thoroughly, but just through chatting I've come out with some other facts which aren't probably right. So don't ever believe what people tell you unless you've researched it and looked it into yourself, or that you're extremely confident that, well actually no, I was going to say that they cite their facts, but and that you don't necessarily have to check it yourself, but I think you do, where there's stuff that's really important around topics that are controversial or potentially politically hot, like the future of our planet or the future of this country. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a tension there between the future of this country compared to the future of the planet. Check and check again. And we wouldn't need to protect bats and fishes to the same extent, probably at all, if we put the processes in place at the beginning that meant that we had healthy stocks of bats, healthy stocks of fish, and we used these resources in a way, like the water for cooling nuclear power stations, and we used them in a way that didn't kill loads and loads of fish. So you've got the one instance like this is a major issue because our wildlife is in such a bad state, because we've got really small numbers of these animals left and we don't want them to go extinct in this country. I personally want to live in a country that's got a rich biodiversity that means we can all go out and experience wildlife and be part of nature as we are. We might like to think that we're not, but we are part of nature, and that we could live side by side happily with the creatures of our own country. Wouldn't that be great? So we don't necessarily, everybody doesn't want to get out in nature. Not everybody wants to do that. I'd highly recommend it. Go and do it. It's brilliant. But if it's not for you, surely you don't want to just kill all of these other creatures. I'm not particularly into following, I'm trying to think of a sport now. I kind of keep an eye on sport, but I'm not a massive fan of football. I don't watch Premier League games. Loads of people do watch Premier League games. I'm assuming, actually it's probably a bit dangerous saying this, but I'm assuming that they wouldn't want to kill me just because I'm not a massive fan of football. Maybe that is a bad example, they might. But anyway, you get the point. What we need to be doing is living side by side. In harmony with each other and with nature. That's just the best way to be, isn't it? Just to be calm, peaceful, enjoying life, happy, and not stressing over things that don't matter.